Well, we've had some great bounces for stocks off their 200-day moving average. Most importantly, I think when you look at semis historically, you want to look at get in a little bit before that very last estimate cut. So if you think about it, you kind of want to be in before they bottom. So we're either now or very close to now when you're going to want to be in semiconductors, despite the pain that you felt being in them over the course of the last 8 months or so.
Weiss, you remember a day like this? I mean, where you've seen, you look at, I just pulled up Texan. Texas Instruments is up 7%. I mean, is this a relief rally? This is something to build on? Were they too oversold? What's the story here?
Yeah, the last day I remember like this is in retail, when we saw all those stocks have these kind of moves. To me,
a good point.
Getting away from the illiquidity in the market, which I think is partly responsible for this. Yeah, they're relief rallies, but I just advise you to be cautious on this. These companies tend to be the eternal optimists. You go to Micron. Micron announced 25% buyback, $10 billion buyback, with the stock around 45 or so. So those buybacks are announced. Let me know when they're executed.
I just don't remember a day, Jimmy, where you see all of the components of a specific space, especially one that's been controversial like the chips. You know, they fell apart, helped lead the market down. And now you're looking at gains across the board that are nearly astounding when you look at the percentage gains.
I think there's a combination of factors here. You already mentioned it. They were very oversold. Now, there were reasons for the oversold condition. You had things like Micron that pre-announced more than once and really tubed the sector. You also had pull forward of demand in advance of concerns of worsening the trade war. So in the fourth quarter, there was some pull forward in demand. But it's very clear from the reports that we're getting that not only were they oversold, but the expectations for growth coming in were way too low. And so that's why you're seeing this bounce back as sharp as it is, oversold. Plus, the fundamentals just aren't as bad as people feared. You know, Scott, I've been in Intel, Qorvo, and Qualcomm. I like the space. I see a lot of other opportunities.
Intel's after the bell today.
Yep, and obviously they've got a lot going on. The biggest thing, and you're not going to find this out tonight, I don't think, is what they do with the CEO. They've had an interim CEO since June. Obviously, they're taking their time, which is not only the company being selective, but whoever comes in has to have a strategic plan going forward for the next several years. How do you compete with the AMDs, with the NVIDIAs of the world? What do you do about your capital expenditure? And frankly, whatever Intel says about the capital expenditure tonight is going to have some implications for the Lam researches and the other semiconductor equipment.
The Lam researches and the Xilinx have probably now had implications for Intel. They better live up to some of these,
you're right.
These other numbers.
You're right, but the
expectations, they don't want to be the stinker in the yard, right?
They better not be. But I got to tell you, expectations for Intel for the last 3 quarters have been really punkish. Nobody expects much from Intel. I mean, the stock, you know, was at 57. The CEO got canned. It went down to the mid-40s. It's been bouncing around between 45 and 50. Expectations really are low right now. If you get the slightest whiff of positivity, and in particular on the 10-nanometer chips coming out this year, I think you're going to see the stock rocket.